So the state is working county by county. The first county to issue an emergency declaration that is a shelter in place was Miami-Dade, followed by Broward, and then Alachua County late yesterday, right before close of business.
Hey, we were back here today with an update in the swimming pool industry about COVID-19 and whether or not we should be out working. And we have been to all corners of the United States, and we are excited today to be with the Florida Swimming Pool Association. We have Dallas Thiesen and Government Relations Manager. I probably butchered that last name, and you're more than welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on down in Florida. We're hearing some crazy stories.
Yes, so I'm Dallas Thiesen with the Florida Swimming Pool Association. I'm the Government Affairs Manager. We've been monitoring the situation closely and the state's response and the county responses to COVID-19 and how it affects the swimming pool and spa industry in our state. Right now, I think I used the term with a member just not too long ago we're playing county whack-a-mole right now. The state's response to COVID-19 is to really localize in on the counties that are hardest hit instead of taking broad action outside of a few orders the governor's issued regarding bars and pubs and stuff like that. But as far as a statewide shelter in place order, that's something we're not seeing at this time. So the state is working county by county. The first county to issue an emergency declaration that is a shelter in place was Miami-Dade, followed by Broward, and then Alachua County late yesterday, right before close of business. There's a few others that could potentially go down that road in the next week or two, but we're staying on top of it to make sure that our pool and spa professionals can be out there working, making sure water is safely maintained through this period.
Yeah, so it seems like as of yesterday, like you indicated, it was really getting kind of dicey, and it looked like Florida was really going to, kind of lock down tighter than some of the other places. We're recording this. I'm out here in California, and in California, we have, it's. Construction is still being allowed out here. Maintenance is still being allowed out here, from the governor, straight from the governor's office. But tell us a little bit about today, because it sounds like you've had some good updates today, and things are moving in the right direction as of even just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, it's like I said before. Miami-Dade County and Broward County issued shelter-in-place orders. Both of those orders did include list pool service, pool supply, and construction as essential businesses that could still operate during that shelter-in-place order. However, last night, right before close of business, Alachua County issued a shelter-in-place order that in its final draft before being published last night excluded the pool and spa industry as an essential business service. So thanks to some urgent calls by my members in the area and members who work in the area, and our state office this morning, we worked with county commissioners and county staff to get this pool and spa industry listed as an essential business in the county during the shelter in place order. So I have oral confirmation on that yet. I'm waiting for the final written confirmation that they can push out to professionals in the county to carry with them in their service trucks. But we did get a positive result today, and we're moving forward from there. We've got other counties we're looking forward to. I sent out a letter to all the county administrators in the state of Florida today, expressing our concerns and our take on why pool service, why pool construction, why pool supply is vital in these situations, even if it's just a recommended self-quarantine or if it's an actual shelter-in-place order, why pool maintenance and construction and supply needs to continue doing business. So we're working proactively, and we're kind of playing county whack-a-mole right now and get them as they come.
So just to clarify a little bit, are you really pushing towards both the construction side and the maintenance side? Is that what you're seeing?
Sure.
Are you getting any pushback on either one of those, or are they kind of a package deal that the different counties are kind of recognizing both?
Well, we haven't got pushback on the construction side at all. I think it's very clear that open construction sites cannot be just left abandoned, because that presents a clear public health hazard to have an open construction site with nobody there. But then also we're having to educate a few public officials that, hey, we've got to make sure the water stays safe too, because in these situations where people are staying home, they are using their pools, they are using their spas. Hopefully if it's a commercial pool or spa, they're practicing good social distancing etiquette, but they're still going to be using it, so that water's still going to need to be maintained at this time.
Yeah, and it seems like Florida is kind of unique in the United States at this time because, you guys don't really have cold winters, and so with everybody coming there for spring break and that's a whole different story. But the amount of school children that are home and starting to use the pools and everything, it seems like in Florida more than any other place in the country, the pool service and the maintenance would be really paramount because kids are home. They can't go to school, and so they're going to be swimming, and we can't let the pools kind of deteriorate.
Yeah, and to that point, in addition to working with the county officials and state officials to make sure they understand how essential pool service is to public health, we're also trying to push out information there to consumers to be extra vigilant with their children in the pool, because kids are home. We need to make sure that we have eyes on the kids at all time. We don't want to see anything bad happen in that situation. So we're really pushing. So we're pushing two things to everybody. Make sure you got to make sure your pool water stays clean still, and you got to make sure we're still practicing good water safety habits.
Dallas, are you seeing any distribution problems? I know the state of Florida is a liquid state. You guys use a lot of liquid bleach, and that's being required elsewhere. Is there any distribution problems with liquid bleach down there?
Right now, we have not any reports from our distributors or members in the field that they're having problems getting the chemicals they need.
Perfect. As we roll out of this, we're going to need a lot of labor force. What type of labor force do you guys use down there as far as migrant workers? Is that going to be an issue in the construction industry as we start back up?
We've had our labor force has been pretty solid down here. Now, granted, that's something I haven't dealt with directly, and we do have issues with our subcontracting labor force, but that is a different issue entirely. And I don't think our labor force really should not be affected by COVID-19, as far as I can tell right now, though. It may change with new information, but right now we're not expecting a hit to the labor force.
So if you were to look forward, we're asking everybody to kind of give a 24, 48, 72-hour look ahead. Do you, being so close to everything, the government relations part of it, do you see anything coming that is hopeful? Do you see things coming that has you concerned that we can kind of bring people up to speed on?
Well, just kind of where our prognostication here going forward is, at least with my government affairs team, we're looking at a few more populous areas of the state as probably the next potential areas where we're going to see shelter-in-place orders. So we're working directly in those jurisdictions. Right now, we're working directly in Palm Beach County, Orange County, and the Greater Orlando area, Duval County, and Hillsborough, Pinellas counties, as those are some of the larger population in the centers in the state. And the next potential places we may see it, but that's our speculation, trying to get ahead of shelter-in-place orders. But that's where we're looking forward. We're pretty confident that we're not going to see a shelter-in-place order at a statewide level for at least this week. Again, we're taking it day by day, week by week with this to see how everything unfolds. But that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've really started to stress with our members, and just as we've been talking to the different regions in the country, is that nobody is saying that you should be forcing your workers to go to work. Everything becomes voluntary, and we're not saying that if you as a business owner choose to have your people stay home, that's fine. We're just getting the information out there so that as business owners, we all make decisions, and but like for myself, I have 9 field guys, and I have given all of them permission to come in, to stay home. I'm not forcing anybody to come to work, and I think all of our clients understand that this is just an unprecedented time. But so because we have gotten some pushback about some of these updates, saying, hey, you're being irresponsible, and we really, I just want to continue beating that drum that we're not. We're just giving the information out there, and that does not. We're not saying that these, the social distancing and anything need to be not adhered to. Absolutely need to be, but do it in a responsible way. And if you can do that and continue to run your company, that we're just giving you the information and the choice.
Absolutely, and that's one thing we've stressed to our members too is when you're continuing to operate, make sure that your employees are practicing good social distancing etiquette when they're out with their customers, because their customers are going to be home more likely than not now, when they're usually not. So just practice that good etiquette, make a good business decision. Because I said for the majority of Florida counties right now, shelter in place is not mandatory. So right now, whether or not you're going to keep your workers in the field is a business decision. And if the policies we're pushing for too, it would still be a business decision in a shelter in place situation. But right now, it is purely a discretion business. But we're telling everybody, make sure you use good sense, make sure you're following CDC guidelines and recommendations, just so we can be responsible in this, but also so we can balance the need to have safe pools, but also flatten the curve, as they're saying,
So Dallas, one of the things we had seen in Sacramento, California, and we had reports in New Jersey where there were some individuals being stopped and told to go home. Do you have recommendations on documents and things that possibly could be put in the service trucks?
Right now, what we're operating off is as counties have put out an emergency order, we are providing highlighted and printable, downloadable copies of those emergency orders for service companies to keep in their trucks. And it's basically, I think the best idea from a legal perspective is to have the entire order as one document in the truck. So in that case, you can flip to and make sure your employees are educated on what parts of that document apply to them, because those are very long documents, and we highlight things that apply to the whole industry. But we try to break it down and say, look, you're a service company, this is your line, this is the one you apply to. If you get any kind of pushback from sheriff, police, whatever, this is what you need to show them you're an essential business that needs to continue to operate this time.
Yeah, I think that's important. Dave, I want to get into something. We saw a few items coming in the last hour while we've got Dallas online. Most of the service industry are one guy in one truck, but we're starting to question whether or not we can have 3 or 4 guys in a truck, because that's probably not appropriate with the spacing issues or responsible. Can you comment on that?
I haven't had that specific question proposed to me, but again, I think if you're following your guidelines for social distancing right now, trying to keep as much space as possible, then I think cramming a whole truckload of guys together would not be advisable. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and as I'm actually digging in a little bit more in my company, because we have that and that issue came up this morning. So we're speaking with our attorneys and really exploring that and talking with other companies, because it is something to think about that honestly we've been trying to be pretty careful, and just this morning it's like, oh my goodness, what about this? So it's a very fluid situation, and we're all taking it one step at a time. But I'm just so appreciative that that you've come on here and for all the work you guys are doing. I know you're probably not getting a whole lot of sleep these days.
Yeah, we're working hard, and as I said, it's coming. It's kind of like a fire hose right now. As new information rolls out, as counties take new actions. The last thing I will add too, that we are putting out as a policy, we've had at least one member reach out and say, hey, a community association I serve, they've padlocked their pool gate. I can't even get in to service it right now. So right now, what we're advising our members in that situation, you need to reach out to management, let them know, hey, you still have to if they want to close their pool, that's completely up to them at this point. The state or county hasn't issued any orders, but the maintenance professionals need to have access to be able to get in, do the daily testings per DOH regulations, and make sure that everything is clean and sanitary.
That's extremely important, Dallas. I appreciate that. If somebody needs to get a hold of you, can you give them this incredible website that we've got up here? Tell us how to get a hold of you. And
Absolutely. The website is floridapoolpro.com or floridapoolpro.biz if on the business side. My email is dallas@floridapoolpro.com, and I can be reached at the Sarasota office at 941-952-9293.
All right, that is Dallas Thiesen, Government Relations Manager over there at FSPA, and he is working hard to make sure that you as an industry are informed. And we look forward to talking to you and getting an update as this whole all progresses. So we're
Absolutely.
out here. We appreciate it. You bet, guys.
Ask the Masters is dedicated to educating, mentoring, and designing a better workplace for the swimming pool industry and their families. Please take a moment to share, like, and review our content with all of those that would be interested.